Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason. Today we're taking a look at a high-level game that was played on Hot Lips Remake. So today spawning over here on the western side, representing the blue team is a Cortex commander, a commander that goes by the name of El Barto. Gonna be spawning in the backline position right here. Nice little geothermal start. Usually this is either an air spot or sometimes a tech spot. A little bit of a different role. Haven't played this map in a good long while, so I'm excited to see what the blue commander gets up to all the way across the map. You know him, you love him, you fear him. Jamakis, aka Night Fury, going to be representing the red team here all the way on the right-hand side. Going to be showing us what he's got. Now this is also a little bit of a tech spot, kind of, not really. You do have this lane to control up here on these hills. I would say this is sort of, roughly speaking, your responsibility. Part of that is the responsibility of the player over here in the northern section, and part of it has to do with this middle section right here, which of course is going to be where Humblegar is contesting. And there's that. Lovely. Hot Lips Remake, and I probably don't need to explain why it's named Hot Lips Remake. It's got this interesting little geographic feature here that looks like a pair of pursed lips ready to give you a smooch. Mwah. And surely these commanders are going to be vying for infinite control over it. We do have a beautiful 2.4 metal extractor right in the middle of that as well. It's not more than any of these other... Oh, no, it is more than some of them. Well, okay, we've got a spread of metal extractors here. I actually didn't even know that. 1.7 here, but it looks like 2.4 is right here in the middle. That makes sense. These are the hard ones to catch. These are contested metal extractors. It's going to be where most of the fighting takes place, at least theoretically anyways. These pros always get up to interesting stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see something a little bit less than the standard gameplay that we're probably all well aware of and comfortable with. Do have an air scout headed out across the map as well as ticks across the board here. Hesitant to focus on any one batch. We do have some moving on this northern section over here. There we go. Going to be deflected quite nicely. Jamakis on top of it with the micro. I would expect just about nothing less. There we go. Blasting down those ticks right there that was sent across by Planion. We do have a whole bunch more ticks that were also produced by Random Variable, who's going to be trying to micro them across the other field here and trying to do a little bit of damage. There's also a res bot out here, so it's important that these ticks guard that res bot so it can eat up this juicy 100 metal or so sitting around over there. Ticks now parked up on this mountainside. We also have ticks running into the bottom lane as well. Yeah, those ticks are going to find a metal extractor at the very least. Well, they find the metal extractor. Will they be able to snipe it? Yeah, okay, they go back. Very nicely done by Uyop, the green commander here, the cactus green commander here. It's a nice pick off right there. It gets the metal extractor for the cost of those ticks, which is a total of 51 metal versus the 50 metal for the metal extractor. Plus the time that the metal extractor is down and not producing anything. Yeah, that's definitely quite a lot. Another tick over here in the backline. Looks like it'll be cleaned up by the nano turret here, which will actually eat it into oblivion. Always a funny, terrifying way to go down. And the ticks are deflected quite nicely here. They're still looking around, trying to see what they can find right here. What does the blue team see? So far, not much, actually. You know what? Those ticks didn't really scout these bases very well. They got the maroon base, and they also now have the tan base over here. But other than that, the blue team actually doesn't have very much info about what's going on the other side of the map. Now, that's really nice. Yeah, those ticks managed to find an opening, despite the tons and tons of grunts that are produced right here from Solus Paulus. The ticks do find an opening. They managed to get another metal extractor. Finally, they will be cleaned up here, though. I'm sure the red team is going to be quite thankful for that. We do have a fighter being sent across over here. Oh, that's so annoying. Fighter used to snipe the construction aircraft here from El Barto. Really, really annoying that. Yeah, luckily another one is on the production queue. It'll be headed over in that direction, but it's so expensive in that early game. 3,200 energy. Very expensive to get up and running right here for this blue commander. That is a nice little pickoff right there by Hoxie. Definitely on top of it as far as that airplay goes. Loads of grunts being pumped out and sent down to the bottom, the bottom front by Desfrox here. Bottom war zone here. It's going to be an Armada versus Grunt, or Armada versus Cortex battlefield here. Armada versus Grunt, right? That's the Cortex staple right there. That's the hero of the Cortex army. The little laser cannon that could. Transport will take the commander Solus Paulus over here to this little island. We do need a constructor if we're going to start up this geothermal over here. Oh, interesting. That's pretty... Okay, that's cheeky. JC Slide going for a naval lab. Is this worth it in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. I mean, that naval lab is only going to be effective on a very thin part of this map right here. Oh, random variable doesn't actually get the LLT. Oh, accidentally feeds that LLT a whole bunch of damage. There we go. Oh, so close right there. That commander boosting that turret all the way up to gold star status. That turret is now going to be a menace on the battlefield here. Not particularly a mobile menace, to say the very least, but certainly a menace none the least. Reetsweet here in a little bit of trouble, though. Two commanders up against one. Always a bit of a tricky situation. Some vehicles have been sent out across the map here as well, which is good to see, although they are up on those hills. Going to be tricky for those vehicles to maneuver around up and down, left, right, and center through those hillsides, because those slopes can be very tricky on their treaded tires. Looks like metal extractor's been reclaimed over here. Hasn't been handed back, though. A little bit of team communication. Love to see it. The boats. the Dolphins is such a strange play. I can understand the destroyers potentially being useful, right? They can shell away on the coastlines over here. I can imagine maybe submarines as well if there were bots or marauders or something trying to move through this water over here. But the Dolphins, I just don't see how those are going to be quite so useful here. Solus Paulus goes for a coastal torpedo launcher. I just don't know if that's going to be worth it. So much metal invested on a static defense, it's not really going to be all too useful. JC Slide does decide to go for a destroyer, by the way. Love to see that, because at the very least it offers a option to actually do some damage over here. You know, I say that. The Dolphins do get the metal extractor. Okay. Proving me wrong. I don't mind it. This push over here is still quite complicated. Reed Sweet is continuing to apply pressure over here. That Hero LLT, there's actually a couple of them at this point, have been blasting away at all of these units. As soon as those Rocketeers step even a step too close to those LLTs, they blast them to smithereens. They have so much experience between those two LLTs. That is just absolutely absurd. Yeah, there's no scouting over here, unfortunately. We need a radar tower. That's usually the cheapest and easiest way to get some scouting up and available. Looks like some ticks broke into the backline over here. Very nicely done. Yeah, that's a big swarm of ticks that were sent out by Hakalili, who does manage to snipe a whole bunch of those metal extractors. There we go. We do clean that one up. And there is a constructor over here, so at the very least the metal extractor will come up. But a whole bunch of wind turbines went down as well. Very uncomfortable here for the Purple Commander to deal with. Desfox getting into a sticky battle in the bottom section here. Yeah, we have all these Rocketeers, aggravators rather, Cortex Rocketeers, firing away. The Pawn's not really going to be able to engage, and they've sort of shut themselves out of the opportunity with all of these walls up here. It looks like Uyap did go for the walls, and unfortunately now it means that his troops are going to have a really hard time maneuvering around over here. Gauntlet is coming up, and if we can finish it, it'd be quite nice, at the very least, to deny this metal extractor over here, but it would have to be up already, and it just isn't. That's so much metal that you have to invest into it. Now the medium tanks roll down from the northern hillside. Just brutal. Forward vehicle bay coming up for Reed Sweet here. Interesting. Hero LLT continuing to be a nuisance. There we go. I mean, when they get this high level, they can really blast away with some speed when they're blasting smartly. And this is not the case. Finally, it falls. This has been very expensive for random variable to break, but eventually those LLTs do fall. Just in time for the shell shockers to get produced over here, though. Those shell shockers could certainly break this line. We do have tons and tons of LLTs being built all over the place, and I have a feeling that as soon as 2 or 3 or 4 of these shell shockers do come up on the battlefield, Planian is going to be forced into a tricky situation. Does he push and potentially snipe the bot lab or snipe the vehicle lab here, or does he fall backwards and let the Yellow Commander take the ground? I think there's more than enough forces right now that to win this fight against the Yellow Commander, especially in tandem with random variable here, so I'd love to see some aggression right now from the blue team on this northern side. Now, they might be working with, well, they are working with imperfect information, obviously, so not going to be perfectly aware of exactly how this battlefield is unfolding, but there we go. Plantian does sniff out that there's a bot lab, or vehicle lab, pardon me, over there, and just like that, gets a killer D-gun on the forward vehicle lab from Reed Sweet. That's going to set the Yellow Commander on the back foot here, because that is a lot of metal that was invested for not a whole lot of return. Aggravators laying on the pressure here. Gauntlet coming up slowly but surely. Yeah, the Green Commander pumping every single scrap of metal into this turret and hoping that it can save the day over here. Now, for what it's worth, it can outrange these agitators, of course, and it will do a little bit of AoE damage, so as long as it keeps firing, it's getting value, but it hasn't quite gotten its value yet, so we have to be so careful. Pawns need to be split right now. We need to spread these out. Ooh, if we keep them in a ball like that, those aggravators are going to have a beautiful shot. They're going to have a hard time hitting that ball of pawns, but it only takes 1 or 2 rockets to do tons of AoE damage and absolutely melt this composition. There we go. Grunts are pulled. Desfox realizes it's now or never that gauntlet needs to fall exactly right at this moment, otherwise it'll be too difficult to break. It'll be too efficient to break. He doesn't get it. Gauntlet not prioritizing anything else, though. Yeah, Commander goes in for the D-gun here. I think it's a great play by Desfox. Tanks on the northern ground also getting dangerously close. Oh, Uyap so low. 5%, 3%, 1%, and the Green Commander does fall right there, as well as the Gauntlet, which was D-gunned down by the Orange Commander. Beautiful series of plays right there by the red team on the southern side, the Maroon and Orange player, both taking down the Green fortification zone, and just like that, a couple thousand metal lying in ruin right here for those commanders to eat up, as well as a couple thousand down the drain for the orange commander. Sorry, for the green commander. JC Sly, by the way, has taken over this little island over here. That's quite impressive. I guess the vehicles did it. A little run by of Grunt sent forward over on this side. Lovely, lovely stuff. Easy to forget about just how capable bots are on this map, but they can run up, down these hills all over the place. There's little pathways where they can squeak through, and it's easy to forget about that, but sometimes it can be very, very important. Resbot's patching up this army over here. Love to see it. Desfox going for that thug push. The almighty thug push. Very, very menacing, because as long as you keep reinforcing from the back and then you're also resurrecting on the front, it can be very difficult to shut that down, especially with T1 and once you've got a metal disadvantage. Pretty much a T2 transition is the only way to come back after that much inefficiency. Retweet in a lot of trouble. We've already seen the red commander of Jamachus has fallen here, trying desperately to save the day. Hound's coming out now, trying to put in some work. Trying. Keyword. It's only one of them, though. Once we have a couple more, they'll do a whole hell of a lot better. Fighters getting involved over here. Okay, this is cheeky. You have a little geothermal being built up here. I suppose why not, actually. Yeah, if the hot pink commander isn't going to build the geothermal up there, somebody might as well take it. So I guess I don't mind seeing that. You can always hand it over if the other commander pays you for it or something like that. No reason not to have a little economy going. A little bit of fair trade. Yeah, this is brutal. Thugs and aggravators pushing forward right now, and there's not really anything to shut this down. Both commanders here, both the powder blue and green commander, don't really have the economy for this. Yeah, you can see off of just those 3 metal extractors, just nothing in the bank right now for the green commander. So much metal headed towards that base over here. About 1,600 metal. Total combined forces here for the green commander is about 200. So we have a huge push on this northern side. It is being cleaned up by T2. Shuriken up in the air. That's always nice as well. Catching some of those units, shutting them down. Solus Paul is going for a push here as well. Trying to blast away whatever they can, as well as Hekalele also pushing. Basically a victory here for the southern side. Yeah, the lab goes down right here as well for Spiral D, and that's going to solidify this even further here. That was the forward lab, forward bot lab, so the rear vehicle lab is still up and running, but I mean, for the time being, it's still not a lost fight, but the longer this fight goes on... Oh no. I take it all back. Resbots have been caught right here. Pawns managed to slip through the lines. Nice play right there by Yuiop. Catches the sustain right here. Okay. Well, suddenly this is a whole lot worse for the orange commander because these units are well behind enemy lines. Once they all go down, that's just a whole lot of metal on the enemy lines. We need Resbots out here immediately for Desfox. I bet we went for T2. Yeah, we did go for a T2 transition. That's not surprising. Looks like Hounds have been handed over on the northern side as well. It's very cool to see. Shuriken's even coming across to paralyze some of these medium tanks. All right. Very nice. Good teamwork right there. Excellently done by El Barto. Is El Barto into proper air production? Yeah, we are going into full-blown air. The green base has been obliterated. Not but a single solar panel remains. So T1 solar panel. There go the Shuriken, trying to help out their brethren once more. Boy, those thugs are tough to bring down. Pawns trying their very best, but there's just only so much they can do. Eventually, with the help of these Shuriken, this will be cleaned up, but my goodness, what a tear that those units have gone on. Desfox making the best of this by eating up as much of this metal with the commander as possible here. Definitely not a bad situation there. You can see him selecting the resurrection option there. A whole bunch of pawns running up this hillside, storming the beach over here. This is looking quite desperate right now for the blue team. Green player taps out of the game right now. Yui up. Decides it's not worth fighting. Medium tank still firing away in the back line. So annoying. Just healthy enough to continue being annoying, but not quite such a nuisance that it warrants sending your entire army back. Just an APM demand that needs an answer. But I guess a whole bunch of pawns will do it. There we go. A whole bunch of pawns pushing into the back line, sniping some metal extractors, taking out the power grid, poking holes in the defenses right now for the blue team. Opening up an opportunity for these Rocketeers to continue pushing forward, these Aggravators to continue pushing forward. Southern side. I mean, it's a nice it's a nice T1 push, but it's just going to be trading out against T2 here, and the longer the T2 stays under production, the less efficient this is going to be. Already the Hounds are starting to get aggressive over here, being used as assault bots, but I mean, they're going up against Rocketeers, so that's going to be a trade any commander would be more than happy to make right here. Beautifully done by Retweets and Jamachus, working together in tandem here to shut down this green push over on the northern side. T2 Lab has come up right here, so we're going to see Hounds of the green commander's own. Little too late, though, I'm afraid. No T2 transition down here. Little bit of a bummer. We definitely need to see T2 propagated through the blue team. Right now, the failure to go to T2 right now is not... well, it's going to mean that this push right here from DeathFox has essentially awarded the orange commander with a free tier 2 transition with no counterplay, no punishment there. JC's like going for the T2 naval lab. My goodness. That is pretty funny right there. The T2 naval lab's like a beauty mark on the lip right there. I can't believe we managed to get ourselves into a situation where a T2 naval lab is even possible here, but I suppose anything is possible in a good old game of Beyond All Reason. LOT is trying their very darndest to protect all this. Hound's out now defensively here for random variable, and they're holding the hillside, which is always nice. Sprinter's actually not going to fare all too well against those LLTs. They'll do decently, but the LLTs are enough to blast down those T2 assault bots here. Platypi also being blasted apart here, but the Hounds have locked on to the T2 facility, and down it goes. Just not enough firepower right here for the Green Commander in order to push back this T2 army. When in doubt, more units is the correct option, and just like that, so many Hounds are built over here for the red team. I believe a lot of these were just handed over, but now we have full-blown T2 production from Bleed as well, and those Hounds are on a tear. We'd love to see these put into the Gauss mode, though, especially since we're going up against other Hounds. Hounds are relatively speedy. What is that called? The heavy plasma mode is fair enough against the Hounds, but I think Gauss mode might work a little bit better against them. Essentially, Gauss mode better against units. The plasma mode typically better against structures. More pawns running by over here. Ugh, we need beamer turrets or quad guard, or not quad guards, twin guards. Been playing a lot of extra unit settings recently. Can you tell? We do have a whole bunch of pawns running through, and these really shouldn't be getting this much damage at this point, but there they go. Tearing apart a whole bunch of wind turbines. They actually didn't get the metal extractors over here, which is a little surprising. I thought they would have prioritized those, but the Shurikens caught them before they could, I suppose. Fiends on the southern side, though, being pumped out by DeathFox, whose commander has continued to march forward, a glorified Resbot here, just eating up so much of this metal and pumping it all back to the red team. Using it to pump out those T2 assault bots is really, really clever. It's a fairly obvious move, but a clever one nonetheless. And we're going for a nuclear launcher here. Okay, that's a spicy way to end off the match here. I think a whole bunch of Fiends would probably work just about as well, but I guess the nuclear launcher may be a better way to decisively end the match. Nothing punctuates a good game of Beyond All Reason like a nuclear missile directly to the face. Resbot's trying to eat up whatever they can over here, but already we're on to sprinters for assault bots here instead of pawns. We're well into Hound production as well. This is very, very tricky. Yeah, that Pitbull not going to be worth too much when those Hounds shell away at it from outside of its range. Sprinters break the line. Maneuvering into the back here. They're going to find these AA turrets and take those down. That's nice. Opens up the opportunity, or at the very least gets the commanders thinking about maybe going for some air plays over here. They're going to find the advanced Geo as well. That's a perfect target for these bad boys. Just squishy enough that they'll be able to blast it down in no time. Oh, we're even going to split. Beautifully done by Jamakis here. Yeah, pulling off just a couple of these sprinters to deal with the advanced Geo. Just enough to finish the job here, even going to eventually pull away basically all of them. Nicely done by the red commander. Man, is it any wonder this guy has gotten as good as he has? Beyond all reason. There we go. Sprinters in the backline, still being a menace, blasting apart those wind turbines. Not quite done yet. There they go. Chain reaction happens, takes out the very rest of those. There's just nothing to catch the sprinters. They're too fast. The lightning tanks, that'll do it. There we go. Finally cleans up that sprinter, but my goodness, what a tear. That advanced Geo going down really stinks. That's probably most of the energy economy right here for Planyon. Relying on that 1.25 thousand energy coming in from that advanced Geo. Losing it definitely stings here. Fighters being queued over this facility over here. That's actually a bit of a bummer. My goodness, we're going for dreadnoughts. We are actually going... I thought maybe we'd go for a capital ship for some reason. The dreadnought. I mean... Listen, J-Sly. I appreciate that you tried something unconventional here, but I think you essentially abandoned your team. I am all for a little bit of shenanigans here, you know, trying something interesting, trying something new, seeing if it can be effective, but I think this game is anything to say. Going Navy on this map, naval units on this map, maybe just not quite worth it. Purple tanks completely surrounded by the brutes of the enemy over here. Shuriken were pulled back for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what that was about. Maybe seeing the friendly lashers and worried about... Oh, there's fighters. There we are. Yeah, the fighters are pulled. Okay. I see. There we go. Shuriken's now going to finally jump on top of all this. And you know what? Mostly deflected by the purple fight or the purple tanks over here. At least this push was. Northern side not looking great, though. More Hounds marching forward. Rattlesnake has been built over here, actually. A little bit of a rattlesnake off. both of these plasma turrets going to be firing at each other. Okay. Not bad. I guess it's going to prevent any run-bys from happening on that northern section at the very least. Pretty sweet, not wanting to have to deal with any aggression that's not focused directly through the lens that points directly at the eco centers of the blue team over here. Justino Fox calling for a resign vote. And it looks like, indeed, with that much pressure laid on here and with all these T2 built on the southern side with that massive amount of hounds up on the north, it was only inevitable that the red team would seize victory today in this match on Hot Lips. Sure hope you guys did enjoy. That was a really fun one. I really always love to see some excellent micro from some of these top-tier players. What a treat. Let me show you the graphs really quick. Take a look at these because I'm curious as well. There's Jamaica's taking the lead of the economy right there. Absolutely phenomenal game of Beyond All Reason. If you enjoyed this one, you can show your support by hitting that like button down below. It propagates these videos through the dark tendrils of the YouTubes and helps put Beyond All Reason out on the map as well. And if you feel like joining, you can always hit the subscribe button as well to join the Brightworks community. There's a Discord link down below as well as a Twitch and a whole bunch of other stuff, so check that out as well. And I will see you in the next game of Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.